Hello, so today I'm going to be going over the Desert Wanderer with the Eco Crystal Chamber that I built. Normally I like to sell these lightsabers, but I was in talks with Windermere Wand Shop and we came up with a deal. I'll trade him this lightsaber that he happened to be looking for, and I had lying around extra, and he'll give me 2 commissioned wands, which happens to be perfect because Christmas and my girlfriend's birthday is coming up, so absolutely perfect. Can't wait to see how they came out, so I guess we'll just start. This is going to be your guide on how to operate this, as I said earlier. So this is going to be how it comes in this box. Really cool boxes that Saber Armory sends. Absolutely love the blueprint sort of design. And then inside you have the Multiverse Props business card that he gives, because this is weathered by Multiverse Props. And inside we have quite a few things. So I'll go over the small things first. In here we have, oh, please forgive my rabbit, she is drinking. She always likes to do that when I'm filming. Never stops. So this here is the static pommel cap, and on it right now is the FX pommel cap. When the static one is on, it's not particularly loud because there's no way for the sound to be vented. But with the sound venting, it's incredibly loud. It's probably the loudest lightsaber that I have ever built. I actually had to turn it down a little bit just to keep the speaker a bit safe. And then here in this bag, we have the challenge coin that KR Sabers always sends with his stuff now, which is really cool. And you've got the screws that it originally came with underneath the clamp card. I replaced it with the longer ones. You can see the extra longer one here. And what that does is it allows the chassis to be guided into the lightsaber a lot more easily. And then here you have the O-rings that you can add in there just to put at the end in case you want to make it a little bit more accurate in the pommel cube location, accurate to the prop. I don't know exactly which one is, or what orientation makes it accurate or not, so it's up to you to decide how you'd like that to be done. Here, you have your battery, and then this is going to be your blade retention emitter. You've got the 3 retention screws here, and you've got the blade depth extender piece. Keeps it in super solid. On it right now is the static emitter with the blade plug. So I guess that's about it for all of the items that it comes with. So let's get right into the hilt. Here we've got the hilt, weathered by Multiverse Props. Really cool. You can see the weathering, the top, the black, and the crevices here. You've got the weathered down grips. So this is super hefty. It's really heavy. I believe it's chrome-plated steel or chrome-plated brass in certain parts. I'm pretty sure the emitter is steel. This might be steel as well, or just brass and chrome-plated. But it's quite heavy. It's evenly balanced too on both sides because of the pommel. So really nice. This is probably real brass, I think I heard, and this is copper as well. And then this is the emitter. The blade plug is held in not with any retention screws. With the static, more screen-accurate emitter, you just unscrew this top section, which is also how you're going to put on the FX emitter, or the blade retention emitter. It just slides right out. Here we have the diffuser that goes in here. It seems to be getting a little bit loose throughout time, so you may want to glue it down. Or if you see this video and you'd like me to glue it down before I ship it to you, just let me know. But it normally just clicks right in there. So here you've got the Eco NeoPixel connectors that came with the chassis kit. I'll put it back in for now so I can show it off later, how it looks. Yeah, so to access this, you unscrew the pommel. So there are multiple parts that unscrew in this entire hilt. Obviously the thing I just showed you, you don't want to unscrew any of the neck section because the wires are in there. You're going to snap something, so just be careful there. Don't unscrew it. And then you can obviously take off the pommel cap here for the FX and static section. You can unscrew the pommel. You can unscrew the grenade section. Unscrewing the grenade section doesn't really do anything. I find it's just easier to unscrew the pommel by itself. So that's how I like to access it. Unscrew that. Here, let me just tighten this real quick. There we go. And then you just pull it on out. Here we have the crystal chamber chassis. You've got the kill switch here, negative battery tab, positive battery tab. You've got the 28mm bass speaker. I think I replaced it with a Smuggler's Outpost one, which is pretty cool, really nice sounding. This little gap here allows it to hit the back end here and gives it room so that the volume can really just explode out there, the resonance chamber of sorts. You've got the crystal chamber section, got your 2 crystals, you've got metal rods going through, metal tubes. Here are the buttons that caused me a few issues, but I got it fixed. So now it slides into the chassis perfectly without anything getting caught. So it's really, really nice. Guthrie Designs logo, Eco NeoPixel connector, and then here's your proffieboard. So with your collection, I imagine you have pretty good experience with proffieboards, so I won't go over it too much, just general information. This is the MicroUSB, microSD card. MicroSD card is where I put the config file along with the different sound fonts, of course. When you plug it into the computer, make sure you don't have the battery in because it could be risky. You could be putting charge into both ends, which ends up frying the board, so just plug it in without any battery when you plug it into the computer. I don't have it glued down because I find it easier to just pop it up and have access to these things, and it doesn't cause any issues, but if you want, you can just glue it down in place, just tiny drops of Loctite in the corners right there and just push it down. I find that works really great, but it sits pretty well as it is. So I'll show you how to put in the battery. It has these little wing things in the battery channel that holds it in place really, really snug, which is a good and a bad thing. I find it a little annoying because when you put it in, it's super, super snug and it's harder to take out. So the method you want to take it out, I tend to get something flat like this. It's just the end of my tweezers. I stick it into the opening and then I push down and pull out, and that's how I get the battery out. So you can come up with whatever method you want, but just letting you know. So then you just flip the switch.
You're not bringing him to me. I'm bringing him to you.
You've got your idle animation here, and then you can cycle through the sound fonts
Obi-Wan
with the auxiliary button. So auxiliary button's the top, activation is the bottom.
Ben Kenobi?
All these beginning fonts are ones that came with the SD card on the Proffi that came in the kit. So they're the hyperphonic fonts, and it's preset blade and the crystal animation that they created for it. So all these beginning ones are all Obi-Wan based and different shades of blue.
Who's the more foolish, the fool or the fool who follows him? Master Kenobi?
And then all of these ones after are ones that I added. So these are hyperphonic fonts, Kyber Workshop, and I changed all the crystal stuff and made the blade styles myself. So, well, I didn't make them myself, I just added them because I got them from the FET263 website.
Purple.
Super loud, super, super loud. Of course, you can always do the manual lowering of the volume, but I don't want to do that at the moment.
Red. Yellow.
Very sorry for any deafening that's going on because of this, but just notice the different fonts and the different crystal colors.
White. Blue.
Rogue Commander, Smooth Jedi, Smooth Fuzz, Smooth Gray, Teensy.
Battery level.
So for the battery level indicator, this is the last thing that I did in the lightsaber. So I added the animation in the off state because there's not really an on state. When it's green, that means it has a lot of battery. It's basically fully charged or pretty charged, and then it'll change color as it drains in battery. So it'll turn yellow and then orange and then red. So that's how you can keep track of the battery level there.
It's just Ben these days.
Now we're back to the beginning. I will show off some of the animations. So as you can see, it mimics the blade, also has blaster blocks, and then lock up. And then of course it can change color if you press both buttons. You just turn it. It does have gesture controls, so you'll want to be wary of that. So you can just turn it to select whatever color you'd like. I'll just put it back on blue, and then you just press the activation button to secure it. Gesture controls. I believe it has stab on too, or maybe not. It's whatever they set up with the standard config file that they gave it with the the blade. I just added the different fonts and the animations there. So yeah, that's how you operate this. And now let's put it into the hilt itself. So when you put it in, you're going to want to line up the buttons with the buttons. And the channel here is the guide for the screws. So the screws that are under here that I was telling you about earlier, the longer ones, they stick out right in there. And then it goes into the channel and helps guide the whole thing in place. And it doesn't really turn. You can still press the buttons. So super secure, really cool mechanism of guiding the chassis in place. So then you just lock this back in. That's your activation. Flash. That rattling that you heard there is just because the little plastic thing got loose, so it's just rattling. So the speaker's fine. It's just the plastic thing came a little bit loose, which is why if you want me to glue it, just let me know, or you could do it yourself because it's very, very simple. Yeah, I'll go over the blade now. And then once we're done with that, that'll be it. I just want to, oh, there you go. I just did what I told you not to do, which was unscrew the emitter section. So make sure the emitter section is super locked in place. Don't really unscrew it because it puts the wires at risk. So just put your hands onto this lower section and then you can turn the top. I don't know why it's stuck in there now. I took it off earlier. There we go. Sorry about that. That has not happened before, so just keep that in mind. Screw off the top part. That was really strange because earlier I took it off perfectly easily and it does that all the time. Anyways, try not to screw it on too tight because then it might get stuck a little bit, so I might actually put a little bit of grease on it before I ship it off to you. I'll put some grease on the threads here. Should make it a little bit easier to take off. But yeah, don't unscrew this section, just unscrew this section. I'll definitely put some grease on it to make it a little bit easier, because don't know why it got stuck there. That was strange. So make sure you take out the blade plug, put on the blade retention emitter, there we go. Then it takes a 1-inch blade, put it in, and then use the tool that it comes with. I'll just put it on my knee here so I can tighten it easier. And then you just tighten the 3 set screws that it has so it's really, really secure. And here we go. I'll move all these off to the side for a minute. Blade. That's the lockup. Twist on. Twist off.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
And then I'll just cycle through the different blades here.
If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
And of course, like all proffieboards, it's got force, sound effects, it's got the drag tip, it's got melt tip.
Ben Kenobi?
Who's the more foolish, the fool or the fool who follows him?
And again, all
Master
these are the
Kenobi?
ones that it came with.
I am, and when you
Hyperphonic
have your
fonts.
strength, I will help you on your way.
All Kenobi based.
Green.
There we go. I get confused with the controls a lot because I switch between Profi and CFX, which
Purple.
has slightly different controls. That has a little cool-off effect that I added right there, which is pretty fun. And then you can watch it disappear. It goes very slowly.
Red.
A little bit of an unstable blade there.
Yellow.
More of the Rey Skywalker ignition.
White.
Sorry, I messed it up because with Crystal Focus, you hold it down for like 1/4 of a second, whereas Profi, you just tap it, so I messed it up a little bit.
Blue.
This is a fire blade.
Smooth Jedi.
I believe that's the Death Star beam.
Fuzz.
Rainbow blade. Moving rainbow blade.
Smooth gray. Teensy.
This one's kind of like a lava lamp, which is pretty cool.
Battery level.
Battery level indicator, which, as you can see, very charged. Yeah, it doesn't have any on state, it's just is what it is.
It's just Ben these
And then we're
days.
back to the beginning. So yeah, that's all there is to it, to this lightsaber. If you have any questions, just let me know. I will have a bunch of resources down in the description of the videos, like I normally do. I'm sure you're familiar with how to customize all this stuff anyways, and how to take care of your lightsabers, so just, you probably don't need that. But it's there, just in case you need it. And yeah, I'll be shipping this off to you soon, hopefully. And then we can get this trade completed. Very excited to see what you come up with. And I'll let you know what my girlfriend thinks once I give her the wand. Yeah, here, I'll just put all these things together for now. And again, if you'd like me to, just let me know on the gluing of that plastic piece in the blade plug. Then I'll be greasing the threads there. So, there you go. Hope you like the lightsaber, and may the Force be with you.